Good afternoon, everybody. Am I audible? Anil Yerra joining.
Good afternoon, sir. Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So we have a full house today as well. Good. I'm putting on my camera. Just let me know if I'm visible. Yeah?
Yes, sir, you are visible.
Yeah, thank you. So can all the others also put on the switch on their cameras, please? Yeah. Okay, all right. So I see a lot of familiar faces, Rohit, Abhilash, and Abhilash, of course, the faculty, and Vaishali Computers. What about Kavita Computers? And there were a few others, right? Yeah, the video. Okay, there's just one student there. Belgavi, I think the VR lady is there. Economics, Belgavi. Virtual reality. All right, what about the others? It looks like the attendance has dropped. This is in the afternoon, 2 to 4. I kept a few in the afternoon, kept a few in the morning, so that it can match everybody's, calendar as well. All of those who are there, students, and you're actually present and you are participating, please switch on your videos so that we can see you. All right. Okay, so without much ado, let's get started for today's session. So we'll do a quick 5-minute recap of all the previous sessions and important things there. So one of the students can go ahead and recap what we learned last time quickly. So let's not wait for permissions and things like that. What you can do is you can just put in your chat or raise your hand, and then I'll ask you to unmute yourself. Then you can unmute. Otherwise, multiple people unmuting, then there'll be a lot of chaos. Okay, so who wants to speak up, give a quick recap of what happened last week? Last session, I'm sorry. Rohit, what about you? You're not confident?
I was putting it in the chat, sir, like I was typing.
Okay. Okay, go ahead then, Rohit. Yeah, you can go ahead and give a quick recap for the benefit of all the others.
Yes, sir. Yesterday, last session, we learned about how to face the interview, like how to be confident while facing the interview. And also to start off, we started off with what we expect from this course and where do we stand and what we want to do in future. Like we should have a clarity about it. So you spoke about that at first, and then later you had a small role play with Sarat sir where you were the interviewer and you interviewed him, and then he told us about how to face the interviews and how to be confident basically in whatever we said.
Okay, so I have just typed the 2 key points that you mentioned. One is expectation from the session and facing interviews. Okay, so like this, when someone is giving a quick recap of what we did last time, this time I have written down in the chat box, but some of you can take an initiative and type the key points that the speaker is mentioning. Okay, whoever is speaking on the screen, I will ask. So like, for instance, Rohit said a few things, and after that, I'm going to ask you, can you type in the key points Rohit captured? Rohit mentioned in his, whatever he said just now. So, and I will expect at least, quite a few of you to mention that in the chat box like I did. Just now I wrote down 2 things, right? Expectations from session was point number 1. Second was facing interviews, how to face interviews, being confident and all of that. So that's fine, Rohit. So good points. Thank you very much. So my next question is, okay, you learned how to face interviews and how to be more confident, but what is the next level? What did you actually learn? So what are the 2-3 things that you should keep in mind when you are, what you captured or gathered from the previous session? Unless you remember them off, it should be there in the back of your mind. Instead of saying being confident, you can say, yes, we learned how to be confident. And
one of the main things was to not to get rattled when asked questions, and say out your weaknesses. And then the second thing would be like, even if like we are just students who are just passing out, or if we are not from the relevant background, then we'll have to like talk about what we bring to the table when we go to a company. And rather than just talking about ourselves, we should also
So
keep in mind what we bring to the table. Yeah.
1 minute pause. So you are saying if you are not from the relevant background, then you need to mention what you will bring to the table, is it? Not necessarily. Even if you are from the relevant background, the company will always be interested in knowing what you will bring to the table. Why is the company going to benefit by getting you inside the organization? Whether it's a relevant background or whatever it is, they're always interested in knowing how you will add value to the company, right? So it is, see, like for you, it is important for you to get the job for money and for your passion and so many reasons. You will have personal reasons. But the company will be more interested in knowing about their reasons for hiring you. What will the company make more profit? Will the projects become better? Will you lead teams? Will you be able to solve problems quickly? Things like that, right? So those are the things you should highlight, right? Obviously, right? So that's how you should look at it. Okay, anybody else? Rohit has been speaking. Thank you very much, Rohit. So anybody else who wants to speak about facing interviews, what are the key points that will make you confident? Who else want? Okay, Keonix Belga, we should never show weakness while giving the interview. Okay, so how will you never show weakness? It's nice to say that we will never show weakness, but how will you avoid exposing your weaknesses? How will you avoid exposing your weakness? Is there a strategy? Is there a way by which you can avoid exposing your weakness? So for instance, when you go for a party, right? Or when you go for a good, marriage or something like that, what will you do? You will wear your shabby clothes and go, or you'll dress up well and go, right? You will wear the best clothes. Like today, I see this Keonix Belgavi, he's dressed up very well for the class, right? So he's dressed up well and he's come like a good student. He's come and he's sitting there, right? So you dressed up, you're groomed well, and all of that is very important, right? And then, so that is your externals. Definitely, you should be wearing your best clothes, the formal clothes, and be groomed well, and you should be neat, tidy, and all of that. So that maybe if you want, we can have a session on that. But that is general, right? I mean, if you want, we can have a session on that. That's okay. But more important, not more important, I would say equally important. See, if you're shabby and if you have a lot of things to offer, even then you might put off the audience. First impression is your presentation, your look, and the way you present yourself. Next is what you speak. So how will you hide your weaknesses in terms of knowledge? If you, obviously you will not have all the knowledge, right? Everything, it's not possible to know. But when you're in an interview, you don't want to show what you don't know. You want to show what you know very well, right? Like in your dressing, you will not wear your shabby clothes. You will wear your best clothes. What is your best appearance? You will put forward. Similarly, you will want to show the best knowledge that you have, and you will try to show. So how will you show that best? How will you show that best knowledge? It's nice to say from Keonix Belgavi, who wrote we should never show weakness while giving the interview. One of you would have written. So how will you not show your weakness? If they ask you a question and if you stammer and if you scratch your head like this, or if you do something like that, obviously they will immediately feel that yes, you don't know the answer. But how will you answer? How will you not show the weakness?
So whenever they ask the question, even if we don't know, we have to think fast and give at least the relevant answers to that question.
Okay. Relevant. If you don't know the relevant answer, how will you?
We have to think fast, sir. We have to do something rather than sitting quiet. We have to speak up, sir.
Or are there some small tips and tricks to help you get more time to answer the question?
So we can politely ask them to repeat the question, so that while they are repeating the question, we get a few seconds of time.
Okay, maybe that's a good strategy, but you can't ask them to repeat it too many times. 3-4 times, then they will wonder who. So only once maybe you can use the strategy, not for every question. One question you can ask so that you get more time to think, right? While although you have understood the question, but if you want to ask and get more time to think, one thing is you can ask, can you please rephrase your question? Can you please repeat the question or something like that, but not too many times. Otherwise they will smell the rat. Okay. The other, what is the other strategy?
We can connect things, sir, otherwise.
Okay. So obviously, okay, while you may not know the details of a particular topic, you should at least be aware at a high level what the topic means, right? If you're completely unaware of the topic, then you have not done your homework, right? You should at least be aware of the subject broadly. You may not know the depths of every area in that, but when you don't know certain points, then so asking for this repetition will help you connect the topic with some other topic that you know well, right? It may help you connect that topic with something you know well, or you'll have to buy a little more time to rephrase that and maneuver that question to, if possible, you can maneuver that question to your area of strength. I have used this. Okay, what else can you say? You can possibly say, yes, that's a very interesting question. I have always been thinking about this. And while I was doing, maybe you can start your other project, which you were you've done very well. While I was doing this project, this topic came up and we were trying to find out how to, manage that. And then you can start talking about that project. It's a good strategy, but it may not work. Sometimes if the interviewer is hell-bent on only asking that one question, which you don't know, then it will be difficult, right? So, but otherwise there are ways in which maybe they're also checking how you will be able to relate different topics. Let's say they have asked you something on artificial intelligence. Can you relate it with machine learning? Can you relate it with chatbots? Can you relate it with, because all of these are applications also, right? There are a lot of applications of the technology. You should at least know the applications of all the technologies. See, they don't, every interviewer will not want to know all the technical details. Technical details is definitely required. If it is a completely technical interview, you have to prepare technically for all the points, right? Question that you have to prepare. There's no two ways about it. But more important than not, in the industry, especially in companies, people are not interested in your technology skills per se. I mean, not only your technology skills. If you know how to apply those technologies, if you know how those technologies will be useful to build products, or which problems those technologies can solve, you will be perceived as a more valuable resource, because you're able to think more broadly. You're able to think about the common needs that the technology will solve, rather than becoming a scientist, right? Everybody doesn't want, companies don't want scientists, no, they don't want cartloads of scientists. They want people who can solve problems, right? So technology, you should not be worried about technology. Technology is always there to help something, to solve something. If you are able to relate that question to that, then also you will be able to address your confidence. That will come with your knowledge of what the technology does. Okay. Any other answers? How will you build confidence? How will you build confidence? How will you not show your weakness? Anyone else?
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Yeah, that is from Vaishali Computers. Okay. Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, I'm Neena.
So Kionics can go. So whoever is speaking, I'm putting them on the speaker mode. Yeah. So please speak up. I'm just not able to get you on this on the speaker mode somehow. Okay. Speak up. Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I'm Neena, sir.
Yeah, Hina, please tell me. I can see you in the small window, but I'm trying to make you into the. Yeah, now I can see you. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. About last session that we were talking about the interview, the role play between you and our
No, your voice, you have to hold it maybe like this so that the voice comes into the mic, right? Yeah.
Sir, am I audible now?
Now you are better. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I was telling that our last session you were asking that what was the things we have learned. That is about our last session, the role play between you and our head, Dr. Sarit Kumar sir.
Okay.
That is brilliant and not revealing our weak points and everything. Also, I would like to tell we should be confident enough to convince them that our involvement in this company can make the company's growth reach its heights. That is by investing our ideas and also to make sure them that I would be the best to the company going forward. I can match their expectations because I have the skills you need and the experience to back it up. I mean, this will be my answer when any interviewer will ask me, sir.
Okay.
And also the relevant skills and experience of mine can make it better, and which I shall bring to your organization. I would also make sure then that I would work tirelessly and that would bring a great result. I would also put to use in my future career, which would be in your organization if I'm selected for that position.
Okay, so very well rehearsed answer, Hina. So thank you very much for that long rehearsed answer. Very good. But there are two things that I want to tell you. So while your answer is very good, you should also make sure that you back it up with realism. It should not sound like you have memorized that answer and it should come from your heart. It should, whatever you speak should come from your, I'm not saying it's not coming from your heart. I'm saying whatever you speak should be bad. So if you say, see, you know that you will be a fresher. You're the first time you're joining the company. If you say, let's say you say, if you take me, I will turn around your company and make it like from 2x to 3x, right? Will they believe?
No, sir.
They will not believe, right? It is too much of, it's too pompous. It is it's more than being overconfident or more, it's being fictitious actually, right? So you should communicate so everybody at every level adds value to the company, whether it is a junior, mid-level professional or a senior level professional. Everybody has a role to play in the organization and they all add value. So you should do research as to when you join as a fresher. Now, since you're a fresher, right? You're not having a lot of experience, nothing. Actually, you don't have any experience and you're joining. So you should make them feel confident that yes, this person is a good hire for a fresher, and you should tell how you will add value. I am a team. So whatever you've done in your college, I bring these technical skills and I will be a good team player, and I'm a keen learner and I like to learn and I like to experiment. I like to do new things. So you bring in that fresh energy. So think about yourself as a fresher and what value. So every company likes to have people who are energetic, people who are enthusiastic about their job and things like that, right? So you should say that with confidence, but don't say a rehearsed, memorized answer, right? And don't look at the notes, definitely. Even if it's an online interview, don't ever look at the notes and answer the question, because then obviously you're reading it out from somewhere and it doesn't give a very good impression, right? It should come from your heart, whatever you're speaking. It comes from but if you're referring to certain points, if it is an online thing, you can say, yes, okay, your first point was this, second point is this, that is fine. Okay, then you can speak. Supposing now that I'm talking to you, if I had a script, instead of saying all these things I read out, okay, you have said this, next you should say this, third point you should say this, fourth point you should say this, then you will not be impressed, right? I'm saying whatever I'm saying with a lot of immediate spontaneous energy, right? But I can refer to points to cover all the points. So, okay, anyway, so more on speaking confidently and all of that later. Thank you very much, Hina. Who else has any other new point to add? Any other new points to add to whatever we discussed right now? Who has any more new points to add? I'm happy with the participation today. Whoever is answering, I think we are all recognizing you. Whoever is speaking, I think there's a note being made as to the students who are participating, and it's for your benefit. If you're speaking,
Anil,
yes,
Anil,
yes,
just a minute. Anil, tomorrow's session, no? Tomorrow's
yes.
session. This is tomorrow. Just you pick up one student from each center, and you please take their interview. They will answer you, and you just in a sheet of paper, no, you rate them. And you kindly send that to us on whenever you're comfortable. I know you're very busy. But whenever you're comfortable, no, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you send to us a name of the franchisee, student taken, because we are actually on 31st, we are evaluating all the franchisee and we are declaring star franchisee of the month. Okay, so where automatically the second line, third line, and fourth line will also be evaluated. Because if a franchisee is bad, then my second line, third line, fourth line also is bad. Okay, so kindly be ruthless tomorrow in your session. I'm giving you that free hand. Make their life miserable because you have given so many sessions on interview tips. Tomorrow you take their interview. 14 interviews, 14 franchisees, 14 interviews.
14 interviews. Okay,
yeah.
sure.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your support.
Thank you, sir. No, not at all. So yeah, who else wants to go next? Quickly, we'll cover that and then we'll come to today's topic. How else will you not show your weakness?
Hello, Anil. This is Altaf, level 2, line 2 faculty.
Yeah.
In the last episode, I mean, the role play happened with you and Mr. Sarit Kumar sir.
Correct.
And he was like telling in one place.
One question to you, Altaf. Yes. Can I not have you on video? Is there a problem in having you on video? I see a nice picture. But
because the bandwidth kind of like, you know.
Okay, if the bandwidth, if it's a really...
No, not an issue, not an issue. I can manage it. I manage it. Yeah. All the time I don't want to use bandwidth. Fine. So, what I was pitching is, in the previous class, mock interview happened, and the interview Sarit Kumar sir told, like, you know, in one place, he was telling, whenever he did a project for in a college, and when he is presenting, even though he was leading the team, he was not taking the all appreciation or the you know, the credit of that thing.
Right.
So my question is like, if you're not if you are telling that, yeah, that is a humble thing which he showed, but the company on the other side will not think that this person doesn't have a leadership, or you know, he doesn't want to take the responsibility hereafter or something like that.
I get your question. Interesting question, Altaf. What do the others think? Any other answers from others? It's a good question. Altaf's question is clear to everybody. All the other students.
If you want, I can rephrase the question one more time.
No. I think I'm clear. I'm clear with the question. Is everybody else clear with Altaf's question? Who is not clear? Please type not clear. And if you're clear, please type clear. And if you don't type anything, then I understand that you are not hearing. Okay. Abhilash is a faculty, so he'll be clear. Who's not clear? Keonix Belgavi. Okay. Clear. Rohit UT it's clear. Who else it is? I think there are 14 franchisees or, you know, things like that. At least 14 answers I should be getting, right? So clear, not clear. Pooja, it's not clear to Pooja. Clear. Not clear. Madan Kumar is not clear. Okay. Not clear. Okay, since there are a few not clears, I will ask someone who is clear about the question to repeat the question so that I also am sure that I'm clear. Actually, I think I'm clear, but I just want someone here to repeat the question in a different way, or maybe in a, who should I pick?
Context.
Abhilash, I think you're a faculty, so I don't want to pick you. Altaf, you're also faculty, or you're a student?
I'm faculty, sir.
Okay, so you're asking this question on behalf of your students?
No, it's asking for myself, because in my corporate thing, you know, do I want to tell that I want to be
okay,
like telling that one, or do I want to
understood the question? I understood the question. That's fine. Fine. So anyway, so Rohit is a good speaker. I love to give him opportunities because he likes to speak, but I want to give somebody else the opportunity. Vaishali Computers. Who's there? Vaishali Computers, can you come on screen? Yeah, can you unmute yourself? Vaishali.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Can you repeat the question? What is the question that Altaf has been asking?
Altaf sir has said that Sarit sir has played a role.
Correct.
The Sarit sir has told he had a project work in that the all other he taken the role play, and also he said the others also has taken that. He asked that how the company will believe that that Altaf sir has asked that question.
Maybe you want to take a little time to answer. Don't worry. Don't get tense with your language and all of that. You're okay. You're explaining well. But tell me, it's not very clear. It's not completely clear, the question. So what was, yes, role play he did. I understood that he's referring to the role play between me and Sarit sir. So what in that role play is he asking? What is he not clear about?
He did a project.
Okay, he did a project. Sarit sir did a project. Sarit sir as a student said that he did a project. Yes. So
A role play. That company how believes it that Altaf sir is asking.
no, I don't think that was the question. Will the company believe that he did the project or something? Your question articulation is not clear. Yeah, you say that. What's your name? Sorry. No, I think you'll have to hold it like this.
Sri Lanka, sir.
Sri Lanka. What was the name of the lady behind you?
Anusha.
Anu.
Anusha.
Tanusha. Okay, Tanusha, a good attempt, but I think we need to clarify the question. Yeah. What was the question?
The role play sir was saying that sir has done a project and he was a team leader and he used to give the chance to others to lead the team. What the company will think that whether he'll be means whether the company will believe that he will take that leadership role or no. Whether the company will believe that or no. Sir was asking.
Okay, Altaf sir was asking that.
Or want to be humble like this, like how
Altaf, is that the question? Is the question phrased correctly?
let me rephrase one more time.
No, please just answer my question. Has the question been phrased correctly? Is that
correctly? 50% correct. The other thing
50%. Okay. So all of you know about. By the way, I want to bring up another topic. While we'll come back to this. Have you all heard of Chinese whispers? Chinese whispers. So there is a game called Chinese whispers. So there are 10 students. Okay, so 10 people, not 10 students, 10 players, or 15 or whatever, 20 players. Who knows about Chinese whispers? If you know about Chinese, Altaf, you know about Chinese whispers?
Yes, sir. Sorry, that's the wrong reaction.
Not wrong.
I know.
So,
no, gesture, hand gesture, what I do. Okay, fine. Yeah, I know, sir. I know.
So first you whisper something into the first person's ear, and the first person is supposed to repeat back to the second, again whisper.
Third
By the
will
time
go to fourth. It reaches the complete statement will be,
the complete statement changes, right? So I'm not very surprised with Chinese whispers, because even with I mean, when you're saying it loudly also, there is a lot of changing happening, right? There's a lot of changing in the questions. So I mean, so the question, anyway, coming back to the question that you were mentioning, what I understood from your question is, correct me if I'm wrong, Altaf, you said that as a student, if I am claiming that I did a project and I was the team leader, and if I say that while I was the team leader, I was also team player, and I used to give opportunities to all the others and all of that. I mean, you're trying to show that you're humble and you're nice to everybody or whatever. Correct. Will the company perceive you as a non-leader? If you say that, will the company perceive you as a non-leader, and will they feel that you're not confident of your leadership capabilities, and that's why you're saying you used to do everything together and you're not highlighting your leadership skills? Is that the question?
Yes, I will tell you the practical scenario. What happens is when a team member is doing some particular task to do, he might be completing the task and he'll be looping his teammates along with that one. The reason is not to give the credit. At times, if something happens, he will not be alone to take blame, or for that reason in the corporate this happens.
So you have answered the question yourself. So you should be clear. You should be clear in your mind whether you are giving that credit for to the others, so that the blame, if there is a blame, it gets distributed, or whether you're really wanting to distribute the credit within the team. So you have a fair question here. It's an important question. So there are two things. One is you're talking about leadership skills, and one you're saying team player skills, right? You're also giving credit to the rest of the team. Yes. So if you look at any leader in the world, usually any good leader, right? If you take a good leader, even in corporate or even outside, wherever, in all different fields, no leader will say that I did it myself and because of me, all this happened. If it was not for me, it wouldn't have happened. Have you heard of any good leader saying that?
No.
Right? Most of the leaders will give due credit to the team, right? At the same time, you need, since it is an interview here and they have not seen you in action all through the project or whatever, you need to highlight your leadership skills specifically also. Like for instance, you can say, you can highlight there was a certain problem during the project, right? There was a certain problem and nobody was able to solve. I came up with an idea to address this problem in this way. And I was able to convince the team that this is the best way of doing in the given circumstances, right? And there you showcase your leadership skills. At the same time, you show how you're taking the entire team along with you. And then you can also add, and because we all worked together day in and day out, and we were all contributing our pieces, we reached a very successful completion of the project.
Okay.
Right? So that is the way to phrase it. Neither are you taking complete credit, nor are you saying that
distributed,
you have to distribute. Yeah. So if they see you in action, let's say if it's your professor in the college and they're seeing you in action, they will now obviously know, are you a leader, good leader or not? But since it's an interview, you will have to highlight both aspects. Don't underplay your leadership. At the same time, don't overplay it also. Don't claim that you were this, just because of you, the team was successful. That's like being rude to the rest of the team, right? You're not treating them as a team.
Yes, correct. But the thing is, like, how the company or the interviewer will know that I'm a team player, or I will take the leadership role in the meeting.
So you are saying, I'm telling you, so you will have to highlight in that project, you have to highlight as a leader, what did you do?
Or as a solution provider, or what
there was some critical, of course you're a leader because you were able to solve something which the others were not able to solve, right? You were able to give some direction to the project. There were some critical times in the project, maybe the timelines were too tight. Then you said this is an intelligent way of doing this project on time, and you gave that suggestion. You can claim that you can claim, but you can also add that it was all the effort of the rest. Everybody worked together, right? I mean, of course you gave the idea, but then everybody worked together to do the project, right? All right. So you'll have to find those instances in the project. All right. Okay. All right. So who else? I think we've spent quite a bit of time on this topic. Who else? Who else wants to add any further points? How else will you show? One important thing that I was expecting as an answer, not necessarily technical weakness or any other weakness. If there is a certain weakness, which is say, for example, you have a certain weakness, how do you present it in a way that you don't underplay, you don't spoil your chances of making it through the interview? What are some of the weaknesses which can be converted to a strength also? You should also see, sometimes people are very detail oriented, right? Sometimes people are very detail oriented. They take a lot of time to do certain things. You can say that sometimes if they really ask you what your weaknesses are, sometimes in interviews, they may also ask you, can you tell us what is your biggest weakness? So the right way of answering is not saying that this is my weakness and that's it. You should say this is my weakness, but you should say also show the positive side of that weakness. For example, if can someone give an example before I give an example? Can someone give an example? You should be prepared with that answer. You should be prepared with that answer. Can someone give an example? Anybody? Okay, Abhilash, I'll give you also an opportunity if you want to speak. If you want to speak.
Just a second, sir.
Okay. You have, you want to say something, Abhilash, or not? Okay. Yeah. You'll have to unmute yourself. I'm not able to unmute you. So, no, you're muted. We can't hear you.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, I was sitting in Kavita Computers at the center.
Okay.
I'm also through my laptop, so I'm only talking to one.
No, it's not audible at all. We're not able to hear you.
1 second.
Okay. Okay, meanwhile, anyone else, while they set this up, anyone else, if they're able to quickly do it, well,
so can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can hear you. Well,
okay, I'm so sorry.
No
I'm
problem.
actually sitting inside the Kavita.
That's okay. Please go ahead
center,
with your answer. How will you convert your weakness into a strength?
Yeah, so the thing is, we'll also, we'll always have to concentrate on the positivity instead of, just dwelling with the negativity. Let's say, for example, I struggle with numbers. So maths was, never my hard skill.
Strength.
So let's say if I want to basically apply for a job of data analytics, so that is where, math is directly present. So instead of saying that, okay, I maths is a subject where I lack, instead of that, I would say, okay, I struggle with numbers, but I'm working through it. Probably I'm taking, certain classes to overcome that. So I'm basically, getting trained on how to handle my weakness, or probably, I'm also working on my analytical, capabilities so that I'm overcoming this.
Okay, is that a good answer? What do you think?
Probably because I'm admitting that okay, there is a problem and I'm actually working on
when will you say this as a problem? When will you say that you struggle with numbers? When will you say you struggle with numbers? To what question will you answer this?
If they say, if that particular question is specific to specifically related to numbers per se, that was just an example actually.
Okay.
So, yeah.
But my thinking, you can see every interview it's a game, right? Every cricket match or every other match, you cannot predict what happens actually, right? So, but there are some thumb rules and some things that you can use to make it more successful. But you may succeed with that answer. I don't know. But my thinking is you should not spell out these kind of weaknesses where you are saying that this is my weakness and I'm trying to overcome that by taking some classes and all of those things, unless they probe into that very specific weakness pinpointedly. Let's say they start asking you too many questions on numbers and you're getting cornered, then maybe you can say I'm maybe that. But at the same time, the opposite of numbers is creative thinking, right? Assuming. So, but having said that, my creative brain works very well, or you can, dovetail that to that other side and answer questions. And I will be, everybody has strengths and weaknesses. My weakness is this one, but because of that, I also have a strength, which is like the opposite of that, which is creative thinking and all of that. And you can highlight all your achievements in that space and then try to maneuver that conversation in that direction. But nevertheless, you should not mention, this is my weakness and therefore I'm trying to solve this by taking some more classes. Then they will say, okay, take those classes and come back later. Why will I invest in your classes? I want a person who's ready to do the job for me, right? I want a person who's ready to do the job. If you say I'm bad at coding, I need a person who can code, right?
Exactly.
I'm not going to train you for coding, right? So if the question is, can you tell us something about your weakness? Can you tell us something about your strengths and tell us something about your weakness? This is a common question which is asked to maybe freshers. So about strengths, obviously, you know how to answer. Everybody knows how to, they can highlight those strengths. But what about weaknesses? How will you answer about your weakness?
If the question is very generic in that sense, then probably I will say, okay, few people are, let's say I am a perfectionist, but based on the perception of the interviewer, sometimes they might take it as a positive thing, or few people will take it in a negative way, because whenever you are a perfectionist, basically that means that you take your own good time in every single thing that you do.
No, you're telling me a lot of philosophy. I want the answer to what is the answer to this question. This question has now when you're answering this, I immediately got distracted. You're talking about some philosophy which I lost.
Yep.
Right? I'm asking you, what are your weaknesses? So tell us, what is your weakness? How will you answer that?
Okay, I'll rephrase that. So perfectionism, but basically, instead of taking, I might end up taking a bit more time to complete a task.
No. So, okay. Anybody else wants to take a shot at this one? No, good attempt, Abhilash. I mean, I'm happy that you brought up all of these things. I'm just trying to answer this question. Okay, I'm just trying to answer this from everybody's perspective.
Sure.
Thanks for that attempt. If you think through and if you get to something else, some other strategy for answering this question, let me know. Okay. In the meantime, we'll give the audience another chance. Anybody else wants to answer this? Tell us about your strengths and weaknesses. If someone asks you this question, what will you do? Answering about your strengths, I'm sure you all know how to answer about your strengths. You can always highlight a lot of things. You should be prepared to, at least that you should be prepared. If you're not prepared with that, then they will wonder what you are here for, right? So what about weaknesses? How will you answer that? Okay, now one last, maybe 5 more seconds I'll wait and then I'll try to answer that question.
Sir.
Yes, Kionix Belgavi. Yeah.
Sir, if you ask me about my weakness, I would tell that I go through things through deep thinking and which takes me a lot of time to complete my task.
Okay.
I go through different, like predictions. Like if you give me a project, I would go in depth and do my research, and also I would predict what all changes would you require when I come near you to submit that. So, according to that, I will plan every alternate ways, and then I will approach you, sir. Your activity you have given.
So, I mean, what's your name? Sorry?
Chetan.
Chetan, yeah, Chetan. Yeah, so can you elaborate? So, I've asked you that question. So, Chetan, what is your weakness? Can you highlight your weakness? And how are you addressing that? If that's the question, how will you answer this question?
So my answer in that weakness will be like I would take more time to complete the task.
Okay, fine.
And in that my strength would be like I would predict what all alternative questions would you ask and then prepare according to that and finally I'll approach you.
Okay, very good, wonderful. Thanks, Chetan. Thanks for that. So that's what I was looking at. So he's brought out a weakness, but at the same time, he's showing how that weakness can actually be a strength for that organization. Can be a strength for himself as well as for the organization, right? So he's saying he takes time to do certain things, right? So you have to think about this beforehand. You can't on this. So think about a few weaknesses of yours, which can actually be a strength. Right? If you take time, which means to say you're very detail oriented, you spend a lot of time in analyzing, you do a lot of research, and that's why you don't hurry up things, right? Someone else would have hurried up the thing, but you don't hurry up things. You do a lot of analysis, you look at all the pros and cons, and the end result that I produce is out of the world. Right? It's just, fantastic. And everybody loves my end results. And then you can add an example of one of your projects or whatever you've done, right? So that way you're converting your weakness to a strength. And companies love to have people who are detail oriented also, right? Everybody doesn't want, while doing things fast is a skill, but being detail oriented, you're giving a reason for why it is a weakness, but it's also a strength. Right? You're trying to actually showcase again a strength by answering this question in a very different way. That should be your strategy. So everybody should think through all those weaknesses that they have, pick up 1 or 2 of those which can actually become strengths and highlight that aspect. Yes. Right? So for example, if it is a company, okay, now if it is a company, every company, so there are top companies, there are medium rate companies, there are low end companies, I mean, in terms of their performance and all of that. If you ask a company which is not performing very well, what is your weakness? Will they say, yes, these are my weaknesses? They will never say that. That company will also say, we are very good at this and then we can do this best and all of that, right? They will showcase how well they will be able to perform given a certain situation, or while we may not. So for example, a company is, let's say an IT company, most of the big IT companies are helping clients in various industries. Let's say they're helping companies in banking sector, they're helping companies in the oil and gas, retail industry, healthcare, insurance, so many different industries, right? Manufacturing, they're helping by providing solutions, IT solutions to all these different industries. There might be other IT companies which are not addressing all the industries, but they are addressing, let's say, an IT company, another IT company is only providing solutions to banking industry, let us say, right? But that company is trying to improve its market share or improve its, it's trying to expand to other industries. Let's say it wants to now also target retail industry. Right? So how will they go to the retail industry? They will say, we only have banking experience. We are not very good, but please give us a chance. Will the retail industry give them a chance? No. They will have to show how well they have performed in the banking industry and what knowledge from the banking industry can they use for the retail industry. Right? For example, the retail experience can be improved by our, security processes and all of those things. They would have had a lot of expertise in the banking space. They have to showcase that we are very good at project management. There are so many things that we did in this industry. We can bring all that talent to you for the retail industry and help you also achieve similar extraordinary results. That is the way they have to present themselves if they want to get into the retail market, retail industry market. You're getting my point? Who is getting my point? If it is clear, if my points are clear, please type great. Please type great. I want to see great in the chat box if my whatever I tried to communicate is clear. Okay. So you have to think like that. You are so no small company will say we are very small, we don't have all the resources, please give us some projects. Will a company say like that? Will a company say, and everybody is doing business, right? Nobody will say like that. They will only tell what their strengths are and how well they can perform even the small portion that they are doing. Therefore they are the best company to do that project for that client when they go to the client. Right? So like that, you should also treat yourself like a company. You may be good at certain things, bad at certain things. Everybody has all those things, but you have to highlight your strengths. Got it? All right. All right. So who will repeat all of this? And then we will move on to the next topic. The next topic is also very interesting. Not Kionics Belgavi. I don't want to put Chetan in the spot. Chetan is clear, I know. Who else? So tomorrow when we are doing these interview role plays, everybody will, remember these points and you have to prepare and come for the session. Please prepare and come for the session. Abhilash, is that clear? Whatever I said, does it make sense? Abhilash, it makes sense, right? Yeah, instead of highlighting what our weaknesses are and I'm working on them and all of that, that is your business. That's your personal life and you want to improve your mathematics or improve whatever skill, you please keep doing that. But when you're going to the interview, you have to highlight your strengths, right?
Yeah, got it.
Right? All right. So who else? Who else? So these are some, having said all this, just this is not going to help you pass the interview. You need to have some stuff. You need to have real knowledge about certain areas and certain things. Beyond that, if you're if the interviewer is trying to corner you, or actually they're just trying to understand your personality, how do you address some kind of situations, maybe it's a stressful situation or not, how do you come out of that? Do you become very stressful, or do you come out as a positive person who's able to handle that? That's what they are looking at, right? Many times, most of the times. All right. Okay. Who will summarize these points? Jex, suddenly I see you on the screen. Can you summarize? You're a student, right, Jex? You're not a faculty.
Yes, sir. Student. Hello.
Yeah, please speak up then. Please summarize all these points.
Like we have to focus on our strengths, and we should not talk about what our weaknesses are. Instead, like we can say that like the area that I have to improve are such like the weakness we can portray as like the areas that we need improvement in.
No, I didn't get you. The weakness you need to portray, the areas you need to improve in. Can you give me an example? Can you give me an example?
Like if I'm weak in say PHP language, I can say that I need improvement in my PHP skills and all.
You will say that.
If I say, I mean, if they are asking for
weaknesses, if I ask you your weaknesses, you're going to say that I'm weak in PHP skills.
No,
that's the only skill I might be looking at in the.
No, I'm not directly going to say like I'm weak, like the area I'm right now improving. Like I am taking my time and improving myself in that.
You will say that? You will say that. Is he correct? Is he correct? Can you type in the chat box, is Jex correct? Whatever he's saying, is he correct? Is that how he should answer? What is your weakness? Who will type? But you don't have to be worried about being good and nice and all that to everybody. If he's correct, type yes. If he's not correct, type no. Okay, Abhilash is saying he's making the same mistake I did. Halima is saying no. So that means either you were not hearing or I did not communicate properly. Right? So you will not highlight your weakness. No, Jex. Why will you highlight your weakness? Why will you tell I'm weak at PHP and I'm taking my time doing some courses and learning? So then the interviewer will say, okay, go do the courses. And when you're done with it, after that, please come back for an interview. That time, if we have a place, we will look at you once again. But right now, sorry, we don't have a place for you. Will he not say that? Will he not say that?
Yes, sir.
Will they not say that?
Yes,
so what will you say if you are talking about your weaknesses? How will you, if they ask you, what are your weaknesses? What will you say?
Like
if they specifically ask you, are you good at PHP? Then what will you say?
I'll say that I have knowledge in PHP that I don't know, sir. Like
okay, fine. So are you in a class? I mean, are you alone around you, or you have a class? I mean, do you have classmates and people with whom you can interact after this session? You can, right? You can.
Yes,
so please go and check with them, understand, interact with them, and find out what we discussed. And tomorrow, or whenever we have the next session, you should come prepared with an answer for this.
Okay, sir.
Okay. And by the way, I'm focusing a lot on the weakness part of it. I never asked all of you, what are your strengths? You should also, because I thought it was obvious, first and foremost, you should be very clear about your strengths. And if you're very clear about your strengths, you should make it a point to come out very impactfully with your strengths. So what are your strengths, Jex, by the way?
I have very good programming knowledge in Python language, and I have experience in cloud computing.
Okay. So you have experience in cloud computing and you have very good knowledge of Python programming language. Is that your strength?
Yes, sir. And I'm a quick learner.
You're a quick learner. Okay. Very good.
And I'm a team player.
And you're a team player. 4 strengths you've mentioned. What else? 5th one, just 5. Okay. 5 you should keep.
I'll always keep on improving myself.
That's not a very, everybody wants, that's like philosophy in Gyan.
Okay.
Everybody wants to improve themselves. One is you're a team player. Have some, strong words. One is team player. Then the other one was what? You are a quick learner.
Yes, sir.
Quick learner is fine. Python is fine. And what is the other one? Cloud computing is fine. So 2 technical you gave and 2, personal traits you've given. Maybe 1 personal or 1 more technical. What do you want to say? What else do you think? You said you are a what is that? You want to improve yourself. So you are very keen on self-development. Use some good words.
Okay, sir.
Right? Use some good words. You're passionate about self-development. Okay. Now, fair enough that you've said these 5 things. Now, when you say these 5 things, I'm going to be curious about why you are saying these 5 things. I want more details, right? So just saying these 5 will not suffice. If you are saying you're a quick learner, you have to back it up with an example in your life. how you demonstrated quick learner. You should be ready with 3 to 4 examples. Tell them one example. You should be looking enthusiastic enough to even tell the second one. They should tell, okay, go to the next one, right? Your enthusiasm should show on the in the interview. Okay, now you said quick learner. The other one was, what was the other one? You said team player. Okay, everybody says they are a team player. Who's not a team player? If you are supposed to work in a team, everybody will work in a team, right? I mean, you're forced to work in a team. So what do you mean by a good team player? What do you mean by a good team player? You have to substantiate that with an example, right?
Yeah.
Every college will have a project. The teacher will give 10 projects and 30 students are there. So there has to be teams, right? There have to be teams of 5 people or whatever, 4 people, 6 people, they will distribute. So everybody is a team player. But what do you mean by a good team player? Please do some research and substantiate your answer for that good team player. Okay. Then you said self-development. So self-development, how do I know that you are good at self-development? Are you reading some books? Are you learning some courses? Are you doing something? Maybe you're reading some book on by Anthony Robbins or some other, motivational speaker or someone. I really follow his principles. I like his principles, right? Or someone Indian you're trying to, I don't know. I mean, maybe whatever you're doing, you should say, all those things, right? You should substantiate that with some actual things that you're doing in your life. Now, Python, okay, you're very good at Python. Okay, but how? How do I know that you're good in Python? You have to substantiate with a interesting example of a project with a, problem that you pulled out and solved it. Only you could solve it. Nobody else could solve it. Then you are the best in Python. No? Otherwise, there are 10 other Python specialists. I can take them, right? And how are you good in cloud computing? Can you tell me 5 interesting things about cloud computing, right? You should be able to answer those. So when you're talking about your strengths, be sure that you have your answers ready. If you say something, if you say Python is my strength, and if they start quizzing you about Python, you better be ready to answer those questions, right? If it is not, don't say that that is your strength. For the weakness, please go back to your classmates and find out how you need to answer that question. Okay. Making sense? Making sense? Is it all making sense? Everybody? Yes or no? Can I see some chat? Okay. So one more question on strengths. Who will answer their strengths? One more and then we will go to the next thing, because I think you need that explanation. One more thing on strengths. Who wants to showcase their strength? That boy behind in that orange shirt is nicely sitting in a cozy. One of them is hiding in this Vaishali computers, maybe those two. The boys in the Vaishali computers session. One of you wants to answer. I think you're the ABAP person, right? ABAP. Yeah. So yeah, what are your strengths? What is your name and what are your strengths?
Hi, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Yes.
My name is Abhijit.
Abhijit. Yes, Abhijit. Yeah. So what are your strengths?
I would simply say like I would be more point to point rather than being I would be more elaborating. Instead of elaborating, I would be on more point to point. Just go.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by being point to point? That's not even a term that is used as a strength normally. Right?
Because instead of having complete clumsy thing, just be straight.
You're straight and you don't beat around the bush. That's what you're saying? Okay. Okay. So you're to the point. You're always to the point. So how is that a strength? You might be actually very rude. I mean, if someone team player comes to you and asks you something, I mean, it might actually be a weakness, right? So what is that to point? You have to find a more interesting way of showcasing that strength. Go do that homework and come back tomorrow. I understand, yeah, what you're trying to say. Your point, you're very to the point, and you don't go, you don't digress from the topic, and you try to keep everything focused. You're very focused. Actually, that's a good thing. You can say that you're very focused, right? That's a more positive way of saying I'm point to point. It sounds like when you said point to point, it sounds like someone comes and asks you, you will not entertain anything, but you'll be very, cutthroat, or you will be very, it might sound a little unpleasant. So maybe you can say I'm very focused. Find a better word for your strength. Okay, you're very focused, and then you elaborate that. Okay, what else?
I would say that one.
That's all. I'm asking for 5 strengths.
Okay, in that case, rather than repeating all the points, I would say yes. I will develop myself in every each single day, having getting me the new points or new.
You will develop yourself every single day. It is the same thing someone else answered sometime back, right? What did I tell them?
Okay.
Develop. How do, okay, let me ask you, you are saying that I develop myself every day. How do you do that? I'm interested to know. How do you develop yourself every day? What do you do actually?
Because that we do like whenever we work or something like that, when we execute or something.
Okay, don't get tense. Don't get tense. I'm not, putting you in a spot. I'm asking you. You said I develop myself every day. What do you do to develop yourself every day? So, for example, if I say I develop myself every day, maybe I read a book every day, which is a motivational book. I make it a point to read 10 pages of a motivational book every day, because that keeps me charged for that day. If I don't read that day, I don't feel so good. That's why every morning I wake up early and I read a book on motivational thing every day, and that gives me the energy for working for the rest of the day. That's an important thing. It's a good thing, interesting thing that I'm sharing about myself, right? Like that, when you say I'm developing myself every day, what do you do? Do you learn a new language? If you're developing professionally, technically, are you learning? I make it a point to learn new technologies constantly, and I pick up new technologies and keep myself up to date. Every day I make it a point to spend at least half an hour learning a new technology. Can you say that?
Just one note on what are the new things I get from my colleagues and everyone, so that if I just go and learn the new.
Sorry, I didn't get you. I couldn't get you.
I need to say like whatever the new things I get to learn from my co-colleagues, whatever some maybe some points I don't know, so they will be the new thing to me to learn. So I'll just go know and have it regroup and execute myself to get answer on that.
Okay, that is your second point. What is the third point? 5 strengths. See, if you're going for an interview, at least you should have 5 strengths. No, otherwise, why will they take you? Right? You should have some strength. Just take me for the job. Nobody is going to take you, right? You should have 5 strengths. What are those 5 strengths?
So these are the 2, but all the relative things that would be the same. What exactly others have repeated? Yes.
That's okay. I mean, others have said, I don't care what the other strengths are. My strengths are my strengths. It may be the same, it may be different. What about your ABAP in SAP? That's not your strength?
Yeah, that is actually my strength.
So yeah, why are you not mentioning that? I mean, I'm excellent in ABAP. Nobody else is as good as I am in ABAP.
In that case, I can say like I'm pretty excellent on PT.
Okay, so 2 or 3. So if you take 5 strengths, maybe 3 technical strengths, and 2, if you're more of a technical person, take 3 technical strengths, and 2, these personal development strengths, like, like you mentioned, personal development. And the first one was being focused. I'm very focused. Give examples of how you're very focused. How being focused really helped you from, if you were not focused, how it would have failed, right? So you have to give examples of those from your life, from your projects, from your courses, whatever you're doing. And technical skills, if you're saying ABAP, you have to substantiate how you are the best in ABAP. I scored A in the class project, or I did this project. Nobody else could solve this problem. Only I can solve this problem. I could solve this problem. Don't be pompous, but at the same time, you should say why you are the expert in that space. If you're very confident, you can also say, you can ask me any question, I'll answer in that space. I mean, that's like putting yourself in a corner. But if you are really confident, you can say that if you're really confident of everything in ABAP, you can, if you want to, you can be proud of your your strength, right? All right, fair enough. Okay. Who is not clear about these topics? Who's not clear about these topics? Please go back and discuss with your classmates, whichever centers you're in. And tomorrow, when we do this role play, we're going to actually rank you, rate you on all these points, different things, right? On different points. So the thumb rule is, if you are a very technical person, pick 3 technical things and 2 personal development things as your strengths. And as your weaknesses, you can pick, maybe if you are asked that question, you can answer. I will definitely ask that question. So even the questions are ready for you. One is, what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses tomorrow or the next session? Okay. So you should be prepared. Weaknesses, should you rattle 5 weaknesses? Strengths are 5. Okay, you will mention 5. But do you think you should rattle 5 weaknesses? Make it equal, no? 5 strengths and 5 weaknesses. Yes or no? I mean, even if you were to convert them into strengths, do you think you should talk about more than 1 or 2 weaknesses, or make it 5? Balance. Let's balance, no? 5 strengths and 5 weaknesses. No. You should just talk about maybe 1 or 2 and then end that topic there. Don't keep on talking about, weaknesses and all of that. Try to always keep in mind to divert the topic to something that you want to talk about. Make it more, around things that you are comfortable talking about, right? Actually, 1 is good enough. If they keep probing, no, what is the next weakness, then you can ask, you can actually answer for maybe something else. Okay. All right. Okay. So any questions? I'll take a quick pause. I've been talking for a while. Quick pause, and I will open the floor for any questions. And then meanwhile, I'm also opening another slide deck that I wanted to present.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, I have another question, not for interview, sir.
Okay.
During pressure, how can we manage ourselves? During work pressure.
During work pressure, how do you manage?
Manage ourselves.
How do you manage work? What? Manage yourselves in what? For work or for studies or for what?
For work, sir.
So it's not, what do you mean? What is the problem? How do you manage? You go to the work, go on time and finish your work and come back on time. What is there to manage?
During work pressure, lot of pressures. Sometimes lot of pressures in company.
Okay. Have you already faced that? I mean, yes, where? You're not working already? You're just, have you?
As a trainee, I worked in hardware company, sir.
As a trainee, you worked in a hardware company and there was a lot of pressure. Work pressure. As a trainee itself, there was a lot of work pressure on you. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What was the work pressure? Let me understand that.
We are not able to understand starting, sir. And then a lot of pressures during that time. How can we?
What do you mean pressure? What is that pressure that you're talking about? You're not able to understand is a pressure. Okay, fine. You don't even know whether you have to cook biryani, you have to cook sambar, or you have to cook whatever. Is that the?
Finish the project today only, like that.
That's a timeline pressure. They have told you to finish it without asking you, without even telling you what needs to be done. Cook food, but you don't know whether you have to cook sambar, you have to cook idli or biryani. What? Okay, then you have to cook whatever you know how to cook and cook it and give it, right? So that is there. But if they say no, I asked you for sambar, then what will you say? Then you should say that you should have told me in the beginning that you have to specify, right? So anyway, so jokes apart. So work pressure is, see, the point is at this stage, if you say work pressure, how do we handle it? It's like, as you grow, it's going to only increase, no? As you grow, do you think manager's life is much, much easier than the fresher's life? What do you think?
No.
No, is a manager. Manager is someone who will be managing the freshers, the new student, the new employees who have joined the organization. Do you think his pressure is more or your pressure is more? As a new joinee, Whose pressure is more?
Manager.
Manager's pressure is more. Why? He's only giving orders, no?
No, sir. They are also having pressure.
So they will also be taking orders from somebody at the higher up. I mean, the higher manager will be giving him orders, and they will be bigger orders. It will not be to you. It will be, he will be giving smaller orders. Then the manager above him will be giving him bigger orders. You have to manage 5 teams. Now he is managing 5 different teams, and he's giving you as part of one team, please finish this task, right? He's giving you a task to finish. So a few things that you can keep in mind to reduce pressure is, if first of all, you should be clear about your subject. If you are not clear about your subject, then you need to spend time in, otherwise it will always be a battle. You will always find it difficult if you are not clear about, they're not going to see, all said and done, companies, they may train you, they will always train you, but the expectation is that you should learn quickly. They are not waiting for you forever to learn something and you become good at that subject and then you will solve their problem. They want you to quickly understand the subject and start applying that for their projects. The company also has to survive, no? They also have to get projects and they have to get money from their clients, then they can pay you their salaries. Yes or no? Pay you your salary. So first is, you should spend time becoming competent in your field. If you are a Python developer or whatever, you are an AI expert or you are a data scientist, you should spend time in a disciplined way to improve your knowledge base. That you should do in your time. If the company is offering you trainings and all of that, use that, obviously use that, but you should be disciplined enough to learn that subject. Even in these classes, like now all these opportunities are being given to you about interview facing and all of that, still a lot of students are not present, still a lot of students are not participating. That's their problem, right? Not mine, right? So tomorrow if an interview comes, you will be better prepared for the interview. They will have the pressure of the interview because they don't know how to answer a few questions. Right? So you have to prepare. One is prepare. Second is communicate. The next, so one is what is in your hand, you have to prepare yourself. Second is communicate. If you're not able to understand certain things, you can make, okay, tell me one thing. If you, as a fresher, you make 10 mistakes, and if a manager makes 10 mistakes, who is going to be penalized more? Who is going to be more punished more, penalized more? The manager, right? The higher you grow in the organization, the lesser you will get a chance to make mistakes, right? The higher you grow in an organization, the lesser you will get chances to make mistakes. You will not, they will not be tolerated. You can't make mistakes. So this is they also know, companies also know that you have joined just now. And this is the time, if you don't understand, you can actually, if you have a good rapport, try to build a good rapport with your manager and communicate. You can say that I did not understand. Can you please explain whether I have to make sambar or I have to make idli, right? If you don't understand, make an attempt to understand. If you really don't understand, instead of just starting to make something, he might be expecting sambar, you are making a sandwich, right? Then at the end of the day, he will fight with you, right? So if you don't really understand, don't start cooking something. You go and ask him, communicate, be open and communicate. Yes, I understood this much. I understood that there is a sandwich. Maybe you understood it's a sandwich, but he wants some tomato sandwich and you are trying to make cucumber sandwich. So just tell him, I didn't understand whether it is cucumber or tomato. Tell me more. I want to spend 10 minutes with you. Can you explain this to me? You have to be open, right? In your interest. So communicate and improve your things and be disciplined. The third is you have to be disciplined. And see, if it is undue pressure is there for everybody, not only for you, right? If it is reasonable pressure, then you should be able to manage with these few things, right? Okay, more on that next time. Who else has got any other question?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions? I'll put up something now. 1 second. I will share something now. Meanwhile, while I'm pulling out that slide, I want you to ask me some questions. You also should be prepared with some questions, no? All of you?
Sir, I had a question about saying you are a team player
Okay.
So I think saying that has sometimes become a double-edged sword. So because if you are into a leadership position or something, then you might have to be strong and be imposing rather than being a team player. Because some other times it might go the other way, sir. So I just
Are
wanted
you
to ask
really
how to answer
okay?
such questions.
Tell me one thing, leaders of the countries also, they also say that they are team players and they give credit to their entire cabinet, right? Most of the time. Are you really in that position right now to even think about these questions? Right now, you have to be a team player and a leader, right? Don't try to overthink. Don't try to overthink. Right? Am I right or wrong?
Yeah. You're right.
You are a leader, you highlight your leadership skills, and they might think this, they might think like that and all that. That let them think what they think. You highlight your leadership skills, and you also highlight your team playing skills. Even the top leaders of countries, they also showcase how they are team players, right? They also say that I have a good team of cabinet ministers or whatever. Because of them, I'm able to handle all this. They don't claim that they are the soul and everything. They are doing it all by themselves. Do they say that ever?
No,
Say
sir.
that? Nobody says that, right? Any good leader will not say. Because not that they don't have to say, that's the reality. As a leader, the leadership isn't giving the direction and giving some critical decisions, addressing those, right? But doing that has to be done by a team. Nobody does things alone, right?
Yes, sir.
Things alone. You're not, unless you are a painter and you're painting, Michelangelo or someone who's doing some creative art, which you can claim, I painted this myself, and then you will be given complete credit for it, right? But even actors in movies, they are able to act well because there is a good director, there is a good script, there is a good costume, there is a good storyline, right? So everybody, there's a good team, right, behind that. All right. Next, what next? Which next question? Which is the next question? Nobody else has any questions? So there's a nice thing called as usual suspects. You know what usual suspects means? The usual suspects. Usual suspect. Every time I can, yeah, okay. Jex, go ahead. You have a question?
It is I know a movie called Usual Suspects from
okay. Yeah, I was also referring. Okay, so what do you mean by usual? In this context of today's this thing, what is the usual suspects?
The usual people that are always coming.
Exactly. So you got me right. So the usual, I know by now, I know in the last 3 sessions, there'll be these 5 people who will speak in this session. What about the others? So those 5 people will be the usual suspects. Okay, if I ask a question, these 5 people will be available to answer. So who is, I want the unusual suspects. I want the unusual suspects. Nobody, the unusual suspects will not have any questions. They will always be the quiet people. But being quiet will not help you, in the interviews. You have to speak up. All right. Okay, so coming to the next topic, the next topic that I wanted to speak, you can, okay, mute yourself. The next topic that I wanted to talk was, see, you all talked about a lot of technologies, technology solutions and all of that. I want to share my experience of having worked on different projects in different industries and different fields on what actually helps forming that. So what is the starting point for building solutions for the client? What is the starting point for building solutions for the client, or even from the client's perspective, what is a starting point? Okay, so I will ask you a few questions. I may not be able to cover the entire topic today. We will obviously cover that in the next session as well, but we will start getting, start working on that. So I've always been harping on problem solving. I've always been harping on application of the technologies that you are learning. You may be a good Python or whatever, different types of developers and blah, 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 right? All of those different technologies. and areas. Now, so as if you are joining a company as a software professional or as a developer or as a data scientist or as a business analyst or a digital marketing specialist or whatever different roles we discussed right last time, when you get into, so what will they do? The company will train you, maybe initially if they are a big company, or if they have the bandwidth, they will train you on certain tools or their product and their solution, so that you become aware of the company's area where the company is working on. Next thing, what will they do? What will they do? When you get into that company, what will they do? After they know that, okay, you are sufficiently trained, maybe for a month, 2 or 3 or whatever, after that, what will they start doing? What are the answers? You should know, no? When you're getting into something, you should know what will happen to you. Just getting into company blindly and blankly is not going to help. After that, what is it that they're going to do with you? They're going to keep training you forever?
Provide KT and then put us on a project to start working.
Okay, so they will put you on a project. Yeah, so they will put you on a project. What is that project actually? That project has been, where did the company get that project? The company is just doing projects randomly, or the company got that?
Like it'll have some clients like who will give them the project, and then
correct.
We'll have to work on the project.
So the company is doing some business, right? And the company is doing business. And as part of that business, a client of the company has given them a project. The company is getting paid for doing that project well, for handling that project well. So when that project comes to that company, then they know that, okay, these resources, these people who are skilled in certain things can handle this project. So there will be a project manager, there'll be a team leader, there'll be technical people, there'll be business analysts, there'll be consultants. So many things will be there as part of that entire project. Now, you as a software developer or as whatever specialist that you enter into will have a role to play in that particular project, right? That's what will happen to you after you're trained. Initially, they may give you some dummy projects to just test you, but that's also part of training. But once you are done with your training, I mean, the basic training that you are expected to know, you will be put on to projects, right? Now, my question to you is, how does the project even come about? Why do, what are those what will the projects usually be about? What will those projects be about? You may be doing a software development. You may be doing a small coding, small piece of something, but the company which gave the project did not think of, I need just this code. They thought about that project. If it's a big project, they thought about that project and what was the starting point for that project. First of all, tell me, do you want to know about this? Does it make sense for you? Do you want to know about this? Can I get a yes if you want to know about this? Do you want to even know about it? Or you may say, no, I don't really want to know about all this. I am just good at coding. I just want to learn about my coding and I'll just do my coding and come back. Okay, some of you want to know about it. Rohit wants to know, Jex wants to know, Vilash wants to know. Kionix wants to. You can actually say no. If you want to say no, you can also say no, because this may not be relevant for everybody if they're not interested. Some people will say, I'll just be a software developer. I just want to earn that salary. Get me my first job. After that, dekha jayega. We'll see. After that, we'll see how we will progress in the career. I just want my first role. I don't care what company it is and what I do. If that is the attitude, you let me know, right? But if you want to know how that project comes and what that project will be, please type a yes. So I see a few yeses, so I will answer that question. Okay, so that project was given by the client company. So the client company is, let's say, your company is, let's say, A, and the client company is, let's say, B. Okay, company B gave a project to company A. Now that company B is also doing some business only. That is why they are there in business. They also have their clients. So the project most probably, I mean, I'm just generalizing. It's not always the case, but I'm generalizing. Whatever the problem, whatever the project is, basically it is a problem statement, right? It is a problem that they want to solve either for their client or for themselves internally in the organization, right? So when they're trying to solve a problem, what is it? Usually what will a problem have? A problem will have a user. It will be something to do with people, right? It will be something to do with people. So the problem will usually be about a person, a user who's using something and facing a problem, and therefore that problem needs to be fixed. Therefore, that problem needs to be fixed, right? It could be a system, it could be something. So I don't want to confuse you. Don't look too lost. Let's take an example. Okay, that's where I thought I'll pull up that slide. Let's take an example. The problem can be company B can be a retail company. Let's say the company B is a retail company. All right. And they are seeing that they are not able to engage their clients very well. Their clients are they're going to their competitors. A retail company, let's say Myntra, you all buy clothes maybe from online or grocery, some online grocery store or something like that. They are seeing that their competition is taking away their clients. Their customers are going away to their competition. So in order to solve that problem, what are the things that I need to do? Do I need to add more digital solutions? Do I need to improve my systems and all of that? I don't know. There are so many things that I need to understand. So what is it the first thing that they will do in order to understand how to improve the engagement of the customer? This is from company B's perspective. Okay, so what will they do? They will try to understand the customers of theirs. They will try to understand their customers. Yes or no?
Yes.
If this is becoming confusing, please type confusing. If it is clear, please type clear. Okay. See, you don't, I mean, only if you're business professionals and all of that, you need to know details of all of these. But I am giving you a broad picture so that you as technical people also understand where you fit in that entire solution. So tomorrow you will be able to answer these questions. This is called application of technologies. This is called thinking beyond just the technology, right? This is what will be appreciated by the interviewers. They will see, they will value you that, okay, this person is technically also sound. At the same time, this person is also very clear about how the technology is being applied and for what purpose it is being applied, right? No, so my point is, company B will, if the company B is trying to improve their client satisfaction, their customer satisfaction, retail customer satisfaction, they will then want to first understand what is their customer journey. Who has heard about customer journey in this whole group of people? Anyone has heard about customer journey? Anyone has heard of customer journey? Whoever has heard about customer journey, please type yes, and then we can discuss a bit. Rohit, no. Okay. Last time somebody was asking about design thinking and all of that in the session. They wanted to have a session about design thinking and all that. Who was that? I am sorry, I can't recall the name, but somebody was asking about design thinking, and can we have a session on that for the students?
So the customer journey might be like
No. I don't want to know whether, I don't want you to explain the customer journey. I want to understand whether you've heard of it or not. Have you heard of it earlier?
Yeah, some might.
You have heard of it. Okay. What now? My question to you is, what have you heard? What do you know about customer journey? If you have heard about it, what do you know about customer journey?
Like it might be like different type of customers, like who are regular based, who are not limited people. On what base they have been attracted on what. So that is the what my understanding of that.
Okay, not really the answer that I'm looking at. In what context have you heard about customer journey? Where did you hear about customer journey?
Towards the supermarket and the distributions.
No, I mean outside or in your course?
No, outside.
Okay, not really the answer. Maybe I'm not able to understand your thing, but no, that's not the answer that I'm looking for. Okay, what do you think by a customer? What do you understand by a customer journey? What do you think it means? Okay, let's say you are a customer who wants to buy something. Okay, you are a customer who wants to buy something, right? Let's take an example. You want to buy, let's say we'll take the previous example, television. You want to purchase a television. You are a customer who wants to purchase a smartphone or a television or some other gadget. Okay, so if I say I want to understand my customer journey, right, broadly, I don't want you to get overwhelmed with this topic. What will you understand by that? What will you understand by customer journey? You are the customer who wants to purchase a television or a smartphone, and I want to understand your journey. You are the customer. I want to understand the customer's journey. What do you understand by a customer journey?
It might be about the requirements.
Okay, fine. Any other guesses?
About the experience the customer has had using a TV before. Is that the customer journey?
Okay, that's one part of it, maybe. Okay, I'll try to make it a little more simpler. What is a user journey? Let's say I am, or we all are using Zoom. Zoom is a product. Zoom is a product, right? Zoom is a product that we are using. We are all using that for interacting online and having this, webinar and seminar and discussion and this class session, right? Now, we are all users of Zoom. So what do you understand by a user journey? Who are the different types of users in Zoom? One is the student and one will be the moderator, someone who's moderating and handling who's organizing the meeting, right? There are two different types of users. So as a student, let's say we are all students, what will you understand by a user journey? What will you understand by a user journey? This is a little more technical now. I think it's a little closer to your technology space, user journey or user experience. Who has heard of UX, user experience? A lot of people talking about web development and all of that. Who's heard of user experience? No. I'm surprised. Heard about used experience or user experience.
User.
Yeah, UX. Who else? Nobody else has heard of UX? I'm a little surprised. If you have, please type that UX in the chat box. Whoever else has heard about UX, just type UX. Okay, fine, fair enough. So I will share, I'm sharing something on the screen. Let me know when you're able to see that. Okay. Okay, host disabled participant sharing screen. Can I be allowed to share my screen, Kionix Karnataka? I'm not able to share my screen. It says host disabled. Can the moderator help me share the screen? Am I audible? Kionix Karnataka. Somebody from Kionix Karnataka? I don't think they've heard me for some reason. Let me just send them a message if I can. Somebody who can enable my screen sharing ability, can you please enable me to share the screen? Somebody in the sense, someone who's organizing the host. I will just chat. Okay, I'm just sending that. Okay, anyway, so we will try to, in the meanwhile, in the absence of that, we will try to, address that without that, if possible. Okay, so I was talking about customer journey, right? So whenever there is a, so the company B, so you are part of company A who's providing solutions, and company B is a retail company which is trying to get that solution being done by you. So company B will come up with that project based on they want to improve their sales and they want to attract more customers and all of that. So what they will first do is they will try to understand the customer journey. So customer journey is, so if they are selling, let's take a TV manufacturer. Okay, let's take it. I mean, since we're taking that example of televisions, let's say they are manufacturing or producing TVs, and they want to understand their customers' journey. Why are they moving away from my brand to another brand? So the first thing they will do is they will try and understand the customer journey. So when you understand, what do you mean by customer journey? Who is a customer? A customer is not a customer until the customer is not a customer until okay, I think I have been allowed to share my screen, so I'm going to use that. Okay, can you see my screen now, all of you? Yes. Thank you. All right, so this is a customer journey. Okay, this is a simple view of a customer journey. So before you purchase the television from them, you first become aware of that product. Okay, pay a little attention to this. This may not be completely technical, but it is interesting to know, so that then you will see how you will relate your technology to these things. Okay. Okay, one second. 1 minute. Somehow. I'm just trying to see if I can share that. Okay, can you see the screen? All of you once again. Sorry for that. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so this is the customer journey. So before you purchase the television, you will first, you're not a customer. You're not yet a customer. Sorry? Somebody speaking? Sorry, was someone trying to speak? Okay, so before you become a customer, you become aware of that product, right? And you first become aware of the different brands that are there in the market, right? And then you are able to, then you make a consideration to purchase that product. Then you purchase that product. Then after you purchase that product, you are serviced. There is a service also, right? And if you like the product, you may buy similar things from that particular brand, or maybe next time when you want to upgrade, you will buy the same brand. And you also do advocacy of that. Advocacy, you talk about it, and you distribute your experience about that. Now tell me, my question is, so there are these 6 stages: awareness, consideration, purchase, service, loyalty, and advocacy, right? There are these 6 stages of a purchasing of a product. And in all these stages, the customer, the prospect, first it's the prospect, and then finally they become the customer after purchasing. They will go through this entire journey. Do you think it is important for the company to understand what the customer is experiencing about their brand in all these 6 stages? Yes or no? Let's say I'm a TV manufacturer. Let's say I'm Samsung or Sony or whatever. Does it make sense for me to understand how my customer is experiencing my brand experiencing the interaction with my brand in all these 6 stages. When he tries to make, when he or she tries to make the, when they try to become aware of the product, when they consider buying that product, when they purchase that product, when they service that product, when we do loyalty, when they are loyal to my product, and when they advocate my product. Is it important for me to understand or not?
Yes.
It's important?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell me why?
Because they can know what exactly happening with their feedback.
Okay, now tell me, how do they become the first stage is, what is the first stage? When you're buying, when a prospect is buying a television, what is the first stage? This is an example, okay? This can be for any other product or any other solution or anything like that. So what will they be? First is awareness. How do they become aware of a TV? How do you become aware of different brands in a television?
Compare.
No. How do you even know about it? Awareness is knowing about them.
Advertisements.
Sorry?
Personal usage experience.
Who said advertisements? Somebody said advertisement, no? Who said advertisement?
I said it.
Yeah, Rohit said advertisement. So advertisement is what makes you aware of the product, right?
Yes,
For the advertising, you don't know about the product. Let's say Sony has come up with a new brand, a new better looking or a better brand with a television with a lot more features. Unless they advertise it, how will you know about it, right? So first is awareness is advertising. And today advertising happens where? Where all do you see? Earlier it used to happen in newspapers and maybe televisions. Now advertising can happen where else?
Social media.
A lot of digital technologies are available today for advertising. You know, when you say social media, there are so many avenues. It could be on
YouTube ads.
Sorry?
YouTube ads, sir.
It could be a YouTube ad. It could be on Facebook. It could be on Yahoo. It could be on Twitter. It could be on so many Instagram. It could be on so many platforms. You can advertise your product, right? So do you see a connection between technology and awareness now? Do you see a connection between digital technologies that you are using and the awareness part of the customer journey? So companies will need solutions. They need a lot of solutions to help them make their customers aware of their brand. They will need a lot of technical skills. They will need a lot of technical specialists who can help them put their brand and make their customers aware of their brand, right? They can help them, make them aware of their brand, correct? So there's a lot of technologies there, right? Awareness, how to do Facebook ads, how to do these ads, how to put it up on digital media, how to consistently, okay. Next is, do the ads, everybody sees the same ads or the ads are different for everybody?
Different for each and every products or companies or something.
No. I'm not talking about products. I'm asking about, you are 100 people sitting here now. Do you all 100 people see the same advertisements when you open Facebook or any other YouTube or something? Does Rohit see the same advertisement that Jex sees on YouTube?
No, sir.
No, so it's targeted advertisement.
It is dependent on what? It is dependent on your past history, right? What you have been viewing. One parameter can be your viewing of your viewing history or your interests. If you have mentioned what your interests are, the advertise, supposing Rohit has mentioned, or somewhere in social media it is, they figure out that Rohit is interested in maybe he's doing some research on new latest handset, I mean a new device, Samsung, and he's comparing all of those. So it is more likely that he will get an advertisement of those products because he's doing that research. They will figure out, and then there are algorithms to figure out that he's doing that research, and therefore he will be shown those products. As compared to Jex, let us say Jex is trying to figure out what are the best brands available in spectacles. I see you wearing a spectacle. That's why I'm, saying that. Let's say you're trying to choose between Lenskart or different other brands, right? And you want a good looking, frame and a good lens. Who are the best lens providers? You're doing that research. So it is more likely that you will get that advertisement in your Facebook or in your YouTube or in your Twitter account when you log in and things like that. So it's a very simple example. So what I'm saying is, so there is technology involved in making your target customers aware of your product, right? So it's not happening by magic, no. Everybody is not getting Lenskart advertisement. Everybody is not getting, handset advertisement. It's not happening by magic that Rohit is getting this and Jex is getting this. It is happening because there is some logic behind all of that, and there is some technology working behind all of that. You're all getting that? If everybody is getting, please type great, because I have been speaking a lot. I want some motivation.
Yes, sir.
Okay, type great. If you're all understanding this, type great. Okay, great. Wonderful. So, so you see how technology is important in awareness part of it. Now let's go to the next part. What was the next part in the customer journey? Next part in the customer journey after awareness was what? I have intentionally pulled out that slide because I don't want you to look at it. And after you become aware of the product, what will you do?
Consideration, sir.
You will consider. Yeah, you will start considering. Okay, now you became aware of 5 brands in television, right? Let's say you became 5 brands of handsets. And now you are considering, okay, which one should I buy? Which one should I buy? You will be thinking about which one should I buy, right? How will you consider now in the consideration stage? What will you do? What will you do? Sorry?
Specifications and price.
You will look at prices. Okay, what else will you? Nowadays, what do people do? In the digital age, what else do people do when you're considering?
Thinking.
Check YouTube videos.
Sorry, YouTube videos. You will see. Yeah, you will try to look at the YouTube video of that particular product. Okay, this guys, and there are tons of videos, people explaining how this product is good compared to other products. So you will evaluate that with the other products. How else will you evaluate?
Shopping sites. I'll filter out the requirements.
Okay, you'll filter out the requirements. What else will you do? Will you not do reviews? Will you not look at reviews of that product on Amazon or Myntra or whatever?
Anil,
yes, sir.
Anil, what I feel is only Jex and Rohit is only understanding rest all are mute spectators. So I think these 2 centers are a clear-cut evaluation. They become the star. Rest all are anyway given away. They don't want to be part of the evaluation also. They are not talking. They are not. I hope they talk tomorrow, Anil. Kindly ensure. Anil, give them, rate them as per those who talk, those who give answer, rate according to that.
I'm making a note of that.
Don't be sweet to them. Be ruthless, as I told you. If they don't talk, they don't get rated. Their center head is down. Their second line is over. Their third line, fourth line, all are failed. I'll put a mark, cross mark, and give it to MD. So okay, so they're having a fine time. It seems only listening. Anil is speaking so well. I know Anil speaks very well. I know Anil is very knowledgeable. But you people are just listening, seeing at him react. Only Rohit is talking and Jex is talking. And to some extent, Madan talks. I think apart from 4 and 5, Anil, what do you say? Nobody is talking, right? What is your take?
Yeah, at least today it's a little better than the previous one. But yeah, I would urge all the others
then
to...
Anil, I leave it to you. Tomorrow, I will see your evaluation, then discuss on Monday. Okay.
Sure. So yeah, so we have some more minutes now. I want you to talk. So I really don't want to be sweet with you, and I don't want to be rude either. But the point is, you need to start talking. Okay. In Kionics Hubli, I saw. I think the professor was talking. I mean, the faculty was talking. The students were not talking. Just pick up the mic. I know you all are understanding this. Just pick up the mic and speak. Okay, and then Vaishali Computers, Halima is also speaking. I see her speaking. Kavita Computers, also some of you are speaking. So so show it, no? Show it to you should show that you're understanding this.
All of them?
Yeah, please go ahead.
First we can review, sir.
Okay, let's go to the previous one because this is going to take some time. There is awareness, right? In awareness, there is technology involved, we understood. Now, next is consideration. So who will answer other than Jex and Rohit and the other usual suspect? Who will answer what are the points in the consideration phase? How will you do your consideration of purchasing a television?
Sir, quality of the product.
Quality of the product. Let's take television. Let's take television. How will you evaluate? How will you consider buying a particular television? You will compare 5 brands, no? How will you compare? On what? How will you start comparing in today's world?
Display, sir.
Sorry?
Hello, sir.
Yeah? Go
Brand,
ahead.
sir, brand.
Okay, now since too many of you are talking together, I'm going to tell, okay, Kionics Hubli, you speak up. First, Kionics Hubli, you speak. Kionics Hubli, yeah. No, not the faculty, whoever is the student, not the faculty. The student has to speak. Now they are all passing the parcel.
Brand, sir, brand.
What do you mean by brand, sir, brand? What are you going to do?
Sir, in quality, we are checking the brand, sir.
No, brand you already know. What are the brands? What are the brands you know?
Sony, Samsung.
Sony, Samsung, what else? What else? One more. Okay, one more. LG?
Videocon LED.
Videocon, okay, whatever. So you have 3-4 brands. So then what will you do? How will you evaluate them? How will you compare?
Based on screen display, sir.
Okay, you will go to the shop?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you will go to the shop and you will check which one is looking better, right? You will do that, right? Obviously, I mean, you don't have to feel shy. You're buying the television. It's your money. You have to spend money. So why are you shy? You are going to check whether it is working fine or not and all of that. What else do you do? Nowadays, what else will people do? Especially, I don't know, a lot of people will do. No, who's that boy sitting next to you with the watch in his hand? Yeah, what's his name? Give it to him. Give the mic to him.
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
hello, sir.
What's your name?
It's Taha, sir.
Yeah, Taha. So what else will you do? You now know the brands. How else will you? Okay, you got a very good watch in your hand. How did you decide to buy this watch?
Actually, my friend had suggested, sir.
Your friend suggested. So he did a review based on his friend's suggestion. So he suggested, but where did you buy it from? I'm curious to know.
Flipkart, sir.
See, you all are using all this. I thought you're not even, see, he's used an online way of purchasing this, and you're not even answering all these questions that I'm asking. Simply you're sitting and relaxing. He's right. Sir is right in saying that I'm being nice and sweet to you. You don't even speak. You have an online experience and you're not sharing that with me. So tell me your process of purchasing that clock or watch that you're wearing. How did you start, and tell me the whole process?
First, I check out the requirements, like casual or formal watch or any.
No. First, when did you decide to buy the watch? First of all, did you have an old watch or you didn't have an old watch and you wanted to?
I had old watch.
You were tired of it. It's very boring and it's very boring, and you want to buy a new watch because you're a young fellow and you want to look smart and all of that, right? So you want to buy a new watch. So how did you go about it? Tell me the whole process. I'll keep quiet now for the next 5 minutes. You speak.
I thought of having new watch and experience like I had number watch and digital watch. I decided to go to analog.
Okay, you had a digital watch, you wanted to go for an analog. See, so much of thinking is going on in consideration, right? Even okay, so now you wanted to buy a analog watch. Fine. Then what did you do?
I just bought. I asked my friend, and he referred me this watch, and I bought this.
You asked your friend, tell me an analog watch, and your friend said, okay, buy this analog watch, and that's it. You just bought this watch.
No, I did research by myself. And
what research did you do?
I compared to other brands.
Where did you compare? You went to all the shops. You went to all the shops which sell all the brands.
No, I checked on the online Amazon.
You checked online, right? You checked online. And what all did you compare? Can you please elaborate on which brands you compared?
I compared the band with Titan,
Okay.
Casio,
Okay.
and some other brands were there. I just compared them. I thought this might be a good fit for me.
Which brand is this?
Titan, sir.
Titan. Okay. Why didn't you go for Seiko? Seiko is much better, no?
Yeah, sir, but the price is not.
Okay.
It was not coming in.
Okay.
So
Rado also is very good. Why don't you buy Rado?
it's more costly, sir.
Okay.
I'm a student. I can't afford.
Okay. Fast Track is cheaper. Why don't you buy Fast Track?
I had a Fast Track, sir, before that.
Okay. So many things he's thinking about when he's purchasing a watch. Fast Track he doesn't want to buy because he already had. Rado he doesn't want to buy because it's too expensive. Then you did some decision making to buy this particular Titan watch. Yes or no? Titan is neither too expensive nor too low.
Yeah.
It is in the middle. Now you're a young adult or whatever you are, and therefore you thought you should upgrade yourself from Fast Track to Titan. That's the decision, right? So, and you did all this research online. You did all this research online. So when you did research, what did you research? Actually, what did you see?
I looked for the YouTube videos, like they were comparing many watches there.
Do you really do that, or you're just telling all this to?
No, I really did.
You really did all this. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay. You went to YouTube to check all the videos, okay, of the watches. Okay. Okay.
Then that's it, sir.
Just YouTube. YouTube you selected, okay, fine. Which in Titan, which brand is this? I mean, which model is this, by the way? What is it called?
I'm not sure, sir.
Okay, well, you just liked it. Yeah, you're not too sure. That's okay. That's fine. But where did you buy it finally? Online only, Flipkart.
Yeah, online.
Okay.
The reviews were good, sir.
Sorry?
The reviews.
Reviews. So you also saw reviews of people. Did you actually see that, or you're just telling me?
No. I actually see them.
What did you see in the reviews?
Like the quality and the working.
What do you understand by watch quality? You are a kid who doesn't know anything about watch. What do you understand about quality?
Like the glass.
Are you a watch mechanic?
No.
Then how will you know about quality?
The build quality and the glass look.
Wheel quality. The wheel. Even I have never looked at a wheel quality. So watch. How will you look at wheel quality?
They have given the review like it is good.
Someone said wheel quality is good, so therefore you took a decision. Okay, wheel quality is some important parameter. It is very important, so therefore it must be good. Therefore I will buy it. That's how you decided, right?
We had return policy in the Flipkart, so I bought. If they was not good, I can return it.
That is another very interesting parameter that you have brought, but I'm talking about wheel quality. Wheel quality, someone gave a review that the wheel quality is good of this watch. I don't know what it means, by the way, wheel quality, but someone said wheel quality of that watch is good, right? I'm right?
Build quality.
What quality?
Build
quality. Build quality is good. So what do you mean by build quality? That it's built well.
Yeah.
It is that every other watch looks built well, so how can you make out? I mean, just because someone said that build quality is good, you also thought it will be good,
yes,
right?
Sir. Yes, sir.
So someone else influenced you to buy this product.
Yes, sir.
Somebody whom you don't even know. Online, someone has written a review about this product. Some 5 people would have given 5 stars or 4 stars or 3 stars or whatever. They influenced you to buy this product. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, then build quality is good. Okay, fine. Build quality. I don't even know how to measure build quality, but someone said build quality is good, so I thought it is good. Then what else you said? You said something else after that.
The leather straps.
Leather strap. Oh God, you also compared the leather strap quality, is it?
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
Very good. And what else?
The glass design.
Okay, glass design. Okay.
And the color, sir. White in inside and the brown.
You had some other options. You had some other options also. Instead of white, it could be gray also. You wanted it white.
I was looking for the black strip, but I got the brown.
Okay. What else? You also said something else. It slipped my mind. Just now you said something about there was a policy. Flipkart has a policy, right? There is a policy about return policy.
Yes, sir.
Right? So that means you can actually order it. If you don't like it, you can always give it back.
Yes, yes, sir.
Right. So that's a wonderful thing, no, compared to all the previous ways of purchasing things. So tell me, what is your name? Taha, right?
Yes.
Taha. Tell me, is technology involved in all of these different things that you did when you purchased this watch?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Where, how? Tell me.
While looking the reviews in the application, in researching about the watch, about in YouTube's.
Okay. No, how, where, what technology is involved? You tell me. No, I want to know broadly. I don't want to know the name of the technology, but I'm saying how it is, how technology is involved in this, how it got enabled, all this, how someone enabled the process of reviewing. Someone has enabled in the app, someone has written a program for you so that you can actually review the watch, right? So that you can actually see the reviews, right? Somebody in the, some technical person has built that app so that you can actually look at the reviews, you can actually compare the reviews. Someone has done all of that, right? There is a technology behind that. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Artificial intelligence and search engines do major role.
Yeah. So they are able to, supposing you're looking at only leather straps, there is a program to say that he's only looking for leather straps. So let me show him more options for leather straps only, right?
Yeah, yeah, sir.
Right. So here we see an example from Taha, which is such a wonderful example he has of customer journey. And we will discuss this next time tomorrow after we have those interviews and all of that. But he was so quiet and silent. Unless I saw that watch, he was not even speaking about it. He has all the answers. He has a wonderful story to tell the interviewer about technology and about his story and how he purchased this watch. And he's not utilizing that wonderful opportunity. I'm very sad about that, actually.
I'm sorry, sir.
I was actually not expecting that you will say that you have purchased it from Flipkart. I thought you purchased it from some local shop and that's why you're quiet. That was my impression. That was my impression. I felt you don't know how to buy online and therefore he's too shy. He doesn't even know. He's just bought it from some local shop and he's quiet about it. You all have that experience of buying a lot of things and going through that and you're not even sharing that. That's the sad part of the discussion. I wouldn't be surprised if Jex tells me tomorrow that his spectacle frames he has ordered online from Lenskart or some other shop online, and then he's ready to send it back to Flipkart if it doesn't look nice on his face. Am I right? Did you buy it online or offline? Jex?
I went for Lenskart. I shop from Lenskart offline, sir.
Okay. So you bought it offline, but you might have done some research review. Did you do any research review?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I have used Lenskart before, so that's why I went there.
Yeah. So, so I think because the time is up, I'm going to close it with this end thought that, see, there is so much of story in Taha's experience, that customer journey. You are all not, see, you all feel technology is something completely different from my daily experience. It is not. That is what I want you to appreciate. And that is what I want you to relate with when you're preparing yourself for your career. I don't even want to say preparing yourself for the next interview and job, because that's not the end of it, right? It's for your career. Please try and understand the merging of technology and your everyday experiences and business, how businesses run, how companies running, right? So Taha had a wonderful experience. I wish we had more time. Tomorrow we will do that. Next session we will do it. His experience of purchasing that watch is a wonderful experience of customer journey. He brought about so many things. Some friend influenced him, and then he did so much of research. He looked at YouTube, and then he had his own background about he wants to purchase so-and-so color and so-and-so model and all of that, right? So that is customer journey, right? So we will cover this next time. And is this clear? Does Taha's experience inspire others to come up with their experiences tomorrow? Will you come up with some more such experiences, your own experiences? By chance, I saw his watch and I answered. I mean, I asked him and he answered.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now I want to hear some yeses. I want to hear some yeses.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. great. So we will end this session today, and unless there are any major questions, if someone has a major question, we can take it up. If not, we will kind of close the session, and we will meet again in the next session. Okay. Any questions? Last 5 seconds for any questions.
Professor has a question.
Yes, sir.
Yes, professor has a question. Anil,
Yes,
tomorrow
sir.
what I feel, I could see only a session about 20-25 minutes. But in that 25 minutes, I have understood one thing, that your job is very easy. Tomorrow, you just catch hold of these 14-15 students, which is there in the slide. Okay, if they don't answer, just mark them 0.
I will.
There is nothing called in between 0 or 10. If they give you answer as per your expectation, you mark it 0. So what we will evaluate here is whichever the student is coming from, whichever franchisee, and if it is a 0, the franchisee is 0. The second line which is attached to that center, he is 0. The third line is 0. For example, if Jake's Matthew is in some center, he is an intern, and if his center student is not able to answer, Jax Matthews will not answer. It is the student who is going to answer. Okay, it is not the franchisee or a professor or only student. If the students are not able to answer you, Anil, just give them 0.
Will do, yes.
Just give them 0, don't worry, because that center becomes 0. And that center, we are evaluating center as the star of the month. So that center loses the race. And we are keeping a database here to such 0, that center will be out of the higher end process itself. So I would request that all center students, please prepare for tomorrow Anil's interview and convince Anil to take some marks. If you do, and Anil will not give you marks like this. I am sure about it, because I might attend the session, I might not attend the session tomorrow, but Anil is the boss tomorrow for evaluation. So star of the month, the race is on from tomorrow. Okay, so for example, if Kundapura is 0, Ashwin has it. Ashwin will face hell. And similarly, the third line and the fourth line. If what is it? Raichur is 0, Shweta has it, Sidhu has it, Kundapura, who is that owner of Kundapura? Harsha has it. They will have to face hell. And they have to most probably come to Bangalore to explain me that why the center is 0. Okay, so I am very clear. If Belgaum is 0, Uday Shetty has to come here. If Kavita is 0, let Shankar Vittal come here and explain why center is not improving. So Anil, the floor is yours. While I am saying this, I leave it totally to you. Have some compassion. Don't treat them like a vice president, which you have. Treat them like a fresher giving interview. But whatever is your marks, Anil, I will take action based on your marks.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
And you have spent a lot of time. You have spent some good 8 hours to teach them what is interview. So if now they are not open to open their mouth, then it is very difficult for them. So I want to be strict for their good. Okay, Anil. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Yeah. So I will request the coordinating team to end the session in case nothing else. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah.